The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Happy Hump Day, good morning, and Merry Christmas week. 5 days away. It is December 20th here on this Wednesday morning.
I think I like all the Christmas music that comes from a Christmas cartoon. Like a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Like there's no bad ones that come out of there.
Okay.
Like I like the Rudolph song.
Is that one from a cartoon?
I think that one's from...
well, it's stop motion, but...
Yeah, isn't that from Frosty the Snowman? That song last song?
That one?
Yeah.
It's...
I'm pretty sure.
Not Pearl Ivy. What is his name? I literally just had it up.
Ives.
He does a lot of stuff. He did a lot of
is
those.
his last name.
Yeah, Ives.
Ives. I-V-E-S. Burl Ives.
He's done a lot of those, but I don't know that the song came from those.
Okay. All right.
I think those came from the song.
Okay. That makes sense.
So y'all can chime in, whatever you want to get into this morning. It is National Signing Day, so we'll go over some of the players in a little while that Texas Tech is supposed to sign. More transfer portal movement yesterday, a little bit, not a crazy amount for Texas Tech. Saw a couple of former Red Raiders find their locations. Monroe Mills follows Tyler Shuck to Louisville. So... good on you. J.J. Sparkman announces he goes to UTSA.
Okay.
So that one. Texas Tech also lands another offensive lineman, Sterling Porcher. Porcher. Offensive lineman from Middle Tennessee. I think they've dropped the state moniker too. Does it seem like every school out there that has three names is trying to get rid of one of them? Or that has longer names wants to shorten to their initials. I remember TCU was the first, or one of the first to do this. Don't call us Texas Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like so many of these. Louisiana Lafayette's now just Louisiana. Nichols doesn't want to be called Nichols State.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm just living in Louisiana here.
Tarleton.
There's one we played recently.
Houston Christian.
They just changed it to Christian. They wanted to get rid of the Baptists. Middle Tennessee is just Middle Tennessee, not Middle Tennessee State anymore.
Choice, are you suggesting that Baptists aren't Christian?
No, I said they're trying to get rid of the Baptists.
By going by Christian?
Yeah. I'm not suggesting anything, Jeff.
Okay. Kind of feels like you're...
Okay. That's fine. So... that was pretty well all the movement. Of course, Josiah Pierre was one that went into the portal as well from Texas Tech. So still a few spots left for the Red Raiders to pull in if they'd like to do so from the transfer portal. Would still expect a couple of those to go offensive line and at least one to go on the defensive line. Y'all may chime in as you like. Red Raider Two Guns says, just not in the Christmas spirit this year. Okay.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
All right, sorry about that, but
I hope things take a good turn for you.
This one, are we expecting any good or bad surprises today for National Signing Day? I don't not try to be take Jerk Jamie's spot here, but you don't really expect surprises, do you?
Don't expect.
So, are you expecting any good or bad surprise?
Expect it,
that's not a surprise. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
So, like, the better way to ask the question was, do you think there will be any good or bad surprises today?
No, but then again, it's still not. I mean, then it'd be a surprise if it happened. I don't think you're going to get any. Definitely not anything good. I don't know of any out there that's just going to flip towards Texas Tech. I mean, because your class is pretty well full anyway. You lost one JUCO player earlier in the week. But, yeah, I don't know where you would get a surprise. Now, again, transfer portal, that's different. You could land someone that's a big name that might be surprising to some, or you could lose another player from the transfer portal. But signing day, I think a lot of that drama has kind of gone away with the December signing class.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I don't expect anything that's a big shocker here. It just feels like we haven't seen much of that in recent years. And guys that are committing early are usually guys that are 100% solid.
Yeah, that's
one of the reasons that they made the change.
Yeah, that's a big reason that they went to the December. It's both for coaches and for players. For the players that want to get out of the recruiting nonsense and go ahead and commit fully to a school and quit getting recruited after that, after you've already signed. So I don't expect anything. Could someone flip from Texas Tech last second? Sure, it happens, but it just doesn't seem to be as prevalent as it once was. This one from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Indiana Tech men's basketball home and home. That'd be fun.
Okay.
I could get on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely get on board with that. So, speaking of basketball, Lady Raiders, that was not pretty last night. Is this just a Hawaii? I mean, is that what you chalk this up to? Or is Tulsa actually that good of a basketball team? I mean, what? They just seemed completely flat last night. I will admit I didn't stay up for the full game, but the little bit I watched, it was not pretty.
You would have to think that all the teams are kind of fighting that a little bit, that this is actually a business trip and all that good stuff, and
sure,
we're here to win games, and but at the same time fully well knowing that they're there to have some fun and all that good stuff too. But yeah, looks like you got down early. You showed some good fight, making it somewhat respectable at the end. But, I mean, from what I was watching highlights and seeing the scoreboard, I think you were down plus 20 there before you made a bit of a comeback and ended up losing by 8. So you like the fight from the team, but clearly it was not good early on. And that's been a problem for this team where – they've gone into the break against some of these bad teams up 6 or up 4 or up 2, whatever, and then all of a sudden they outscore them by 28 in the second half. So you see they are definitely a second half team, but it looks like they got themselves too far down in this one.
Yeah, this one was one that you got to think that they've been able to come back, just not able to dig out of the big deficit. I think they trailed by as many as 16 at one point.
Okay, I thought I saw on the scoreboard at 54-30 at one point.
Okay.
Maybe it was 38. It was difficult to see the scoreboard, so maybe it was 54-38. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
Okay.
Maybe
no,
that's the 16.
You might be right. It may be even more. I mean, I was just following scores, so maybe it.
Well, let's look here in them.
You can. So either way, you're just digging too deep of a hole as the Lady Raiders, and unfortunately, the unblemished record is no longer. So Lady Raiders have that loss. Now it is time to see if this team can respond to the loss. I haven't had to do that yet this year, but we'll have to try to do it and do it on a quick turnaround, playing Oregon State really late tonight. At least our time, it's really late tonight. 11:30 tip-off for the Lady Raiders against Oregon State. More from you on the chat line. We'll get some of that. And someone asked if we'll be giving updates as the letter of intents come in. Yes, but they probably won't come in till towards the end of the show. We'll give updates as they do, though. It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Keep the thoughts coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Quite a few. Like Troy says, sure missed Chuck's enthusiasm on the show. When is he coming back? I believe tomorrow. That's the plan, at least. So I apologize, Troy. This is a little early for me. And do you really want me to be hooting and hollering this early in the morning? I figure people kind of like to ease into waking up, but I can do it for you, Troy.
I just skip the hollering part, but I want you to be hooting.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what that is.
Ooh. I can't do it. My throat's too shot right now. I was going to try to do the owl hoot. No hooting for me either. Sorry. Last update I saw was 57-43. Someone else says TCU beat Tulsa 102-58. I hadn't checked their work on that, but oh my goodness, if that's true, that's not a good.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah,
if that's the case,
not a good measuring stick there.
Yeah, maybe Tulsa was missing some players, or I don't know. But
Still,
that's not
a big
sign.
difference. And again, sometimes you party a little too hard when you go to Maui. Sometimes the focus isn't there. We've seen it from several teams in these multi-team events.
But both teams are dealing with it, so.
Yeah, but some teams handle it better.
Okay. Maybe a little more veteran leadership on that.
Yeah, or they just, and this isn't a shot at anybody, but maybe they just prepared better for it. And one team's much more focused on the beaches and the waves, and one team's much more focused on the basketball there. So,
well,
not sure.
It's a good thing that you didn't take any snaps under center in Shreveport, because it felt like a little bit like you were more focused on the casinos, Choice.
I don't know about that, Jamie. I think I was very focused on the game. Just spent some extra time.
The game of what?
Blackjack. Mostly.
Blackjack.
Mostly, yeah. I dabbled in the video roulette just a little bit to get back up from the blackjack on one night, but it helped. Girls basketball team last night will get experience from the loss. The other team was playing tougher on the offensive and defensive side. That's why they lost. They need to play harder and tougher because they're going to have better teams coming in. Yeah, I felt like the two games I cared about last night were mirror images of each other. When I called the Friendship and Trinity and the Lady Raider basketball game.
Yeah.
They both seem to be very similar to each other. So
Trinity definitely looked like they were more up, and I'll be honest with you, even if they weren't, I'm not sure that they wouldn't have won the game, even if Friendship had
showed up,
had played with a little more effort. But Trinity was impressive, no doubt about it. They dominated Friendship. That game wasn't as close as the final score showed.
Yeah, they can shoot the rock for sure too.
Absolutely,
that helps a lot. I mean, they did win state last year. I know they've got a lot of different people on the roster, but that is still a really good Trinity team. This one says, great job with the music, Jeff. Playing Cupcakes catch up with you.
Yeah, we'll wait to see on that. I mean, I don't think that Texter is wrong. We just have to see what's going to transpire here.
I think there's a balance you have to find.
Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Because you need some cupcakes on your schedule when you're a Big 12 team.
Yeah,
men or women.
No doubt.
I think you've got to find that balance, because you don't want to go play tough game after tough game after tough game in the non-conference schedule and come out at 6-5 or whatever. And then you have to go into the gauntlet that is the Big 12.
Right. But you got to challenge yourself a little bit too.
Yeah.
And clearly you got challenged last night.
But you can't, exactly. You can't go play Abilene Christian or Southeastern Louisiana or Nichols every single non-conference game. I think for me, I would like specifically the men to maybe add 2 more games to what they've currently got and what they've done in recent years. 2 more legit games on the schedule, I think, would be enough. Not asking for way more than that, but we've asked for it over and over. Home and homes is what would be great.
Yeah.
And finally, we get some news of one yesterday with the Aggies.
Yeah, I don't think I'm asking for two. I'm just asking for just give us one really fun game at home to be excited about.
Yeah, so maybe I'm saying two more total. So have two home and homes, one where you're playing at home, one where you're playing away every season. Because you have, it seems like every legitimate game, unless it's forced with formerly a Big 12 SEC challenge or a Big 12 Big East battle, unless it's forced, you don't have those games at home. Almost always they're neutral site games.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the better matchups, so I would love to see more of this home and home stuff because you just don't see it as much in college basketball because there's not necessarily a benefit to challenging yourself as much when you play in a tough league like the Big 12 Conference. But we'll see. Grant McCasland talked about that this week. He said he wants to challenge his team more and wants to schedule those tougher games a little bit more. So it is signing day. Did you see? I was talking about how the big news doesn't happen as much, but did you see the big flip yesterday, quarterback wise?
Did not.
Dylan Raiola, I think is how you say his name, the number one quarterback in the 2024 class, flipped his commitment yesterday from Georgia to Nebraska.
Yeah, okay.
You did see it.
Yeah, I did see that one. I'm sorry.
That's kind of a big deal there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk about Nebraska football that's trying to get back up. That'll help a lot.
That's massive.
Quarterback in the class. You pull him away from the team that's been the most dominant in college football in the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting one. Matt Rule landed. Do you root for him?
I wouldn't say root for him. I don't dislike him.
I guess because of the McGuire connection, I kind of pull for him in Nebraska
That's
at this
fair.
point because McGuire speaks so highly of him. But
I don't root against him.
yeah,
That might be the way to describe
and that's
it.
probably how I feel. Yeah, it's not a Nebraska I didn't care for, but now it's just kind of they haven't been good enough to
dislike for a while.
dislike. Yeah,
Not worth your time.
yeah. It's the Morning Drive.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Glad to be part of your Wednesday, 5 days out from Christmas. Got a list we'll get to later. Christmas traditions. See if they're overrated or not. I'm a list guy. I'm Chois Woodman in for Chuck. Jamie Lent to my right. Jeff McGuire across the way. So I asked with the home and home who we would like to see. With the announcement of the Texas A&M home and home in basketball, who we would like to see. So yours, go over yours again real quick. Who?
Football, I would like Notre Dame, home and home.
Yeah.
Basketball, I would like Duke.
Okay.
And baseball, LSU.
And then I went, Notre Dame was my number one, but number two, I go Florida football, basketball, Carolina, and Vanderbilt in baseball. McGuire, who would you go with?
Well, my default answers for this in basketball, we're about to start playing on a semi-regular basis with the Arizona schools. One of those two to get those back and forth.
Those don't count.
So I don't know that those count now since you're about to get them, but I like that kind of bringing back an old rivalry that you kind of feel like you're equal to, I guess would the way to put it. You're not. I have no desire to go get my tail kicked. Not to say that you're going to get your tail kicked every time,
Yeah.
but when I think of playing North Carolina or Duke or something along those lines, I don't anticipate a win there. I hope to get a win there, but I'm not like saying you're going to win this game. I feel like you'd get one of those with Arizona State, as good as those programs can or have been in the past, that it still means something and you still have a shot.
Yeah.
Along those lines, I put Auburn for football. I'd love to do a home and home with Auburn.
That's a pretty good one.
That would be something that you get credit for being an SEC team that matters, but also a comparable team that you could go up against. And this is going to be a little weird. I want to take on Michigan in baseball. And I know you've played them a few times in the College World Series, but I feel like that could be another fun series to do, and to make that I don't want to make a semi-regular basis, but it's just a different opponent than you get all the time.
We played them at home. We played them in Arlington. We played them in Houston in baseball. We played them a bunch.
Yeah.
Now, a home and home with them is a little hard because, they can't play baseball the first month and a half of the season at home because of the weather. But that floating week in the middle of the year where you don't have a Big 12 game, although I don't know how that's going to look going forward, feels like a perfect time to play somebody like that.
Can I take a 30-second timeout? I think 30.
We give them
Speaking
30.
of scheduling and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing something on social media. The Red Raiders baseball team starts the season in Arlington this
That's
year.
correct. Yeah.
Okay. They'll actually play 5 games there from Friday to Wednesday. But anyway, that first weekend, Shriners Children's College Showdown.
Yeah.
They'll play Tennessee, Nebraska, and Oregon. There are other Big 12 teams there that they're not facing.
OU and Baylor?
Baylor, I think. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense that they play those 3 teams.
Sure.
Globe Life Field is doing this a few weekends. I think at least 3 of them.
I think the first 3 weekends, you're right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The third weekend features teams like USC, Texas A&M, TCU, Arizona State. Okay. Aggies and Horned Frogs will not play each other. They're not in the same conference.
Why?
I've heard that Schlossnagel said, we just don't need the drama. And so he won't do it.
Of course he won't. It's wussing out.
How chicken spit is that?
It's
Just play.
Yeah,
You're not
play.
in the same conference. It's been a couple years since you've been gone. Get over it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the Aggie move.
that's just dumb.
That is what Aggies have done since they've left the Big 12. They find a way to...
And the people in Arlington would love
Avoid.
to have that matchup for that game, for the ticket sales.
Absolutely,
that
they
night.
would.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That's silly to
I didn't
me.
realize that.
Yeah. So everybody there is playing somebody twice.
So
they don't have to.
that's stupid. It's
Yeah.
plain stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, back to the court.
Okay, back to the court.
30's up. So go say yours one more time real quick, Jeff.
Football, Auburn. Basketball, again, it was the Arizona schools bringing those back. And for baseball, it would be Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, the Michigan one, you played them recently, but yeah, no problem. I think any of those would be attractive matchups.
UCLA might be a good replacement for the Arizona schools since they're coming.
Yeah.
It's a program with history that I think is very beatable.
Heck, I'd take UCLA in baseball, too.
Yep, sure
home and
would.
home. Except I don't know what, for Jamie's sake, I don't know what the Pac-12 is kind of historically
Facilities are crap.
dumpy when it comes to facilities. So I don't know if he would be on a roof somewhere calling a game.
Isn't Pepperdine a nice facility, though, if I remember?
But
That's not
they're not in the
Pac-12.
Pac-12.
They're not in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
But y'all did call one there?
Pepperdine?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Y'all haven't done one there? Okay. They're a good baseball school, but I just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. To clarify for the texter earlier, Voskuhl, by the way, his teams Spain, Canada, Turkey, France, Turkey, Italy.
Whoa.
So
He's been everywhere, man.
like Johnny Cash. We do have our first signings through now for Texas Tech football for anybody interested. Great news. There you go. All official like. Running back Cameron Dickey. He's a 3-star out of Crockett. DB Isaiah Collins, 3-star out of Huntsville.
Okay.
Wide receiver Lorenzo Johnson Jr., 3-star out of Madisonville. Wide receiver Tyson Turner, they're pretty high on him. He's a 3-star out of Bryan. Offensive lineman Jacob Ponton, 3-star out of Dripping Springs. He's the 6'7" kid, I believe. And then defensive end Eddie Smith, 3-star out of Pearland.
Okay.
Pearland Glinda Dawson. Is that the name of a high school? I
Guess so.
I guess so.
Glenda
So,
Dawson.
Have 6 signees to this point. Well,
How many are we going to get to?
22, I believe, is
22.
the number today.
All right.
22. You have 4, and this is according to Rivals. If you look other places, I think Tech has as many as 6 4-stars and 1 5-star. But according to Rivals, you're at 4 4-stars and 1 5-star that are still expected to sign this morning. So, you got and 2 local kids. You got 1 Holton Hendricks that's coming from Lubbock Cooper and
Offensive lineman, right?
Offensive lineman, and then the other offensive lineman, Kason Long from Shallowater, 3-star from Shallowater. So we'll keep you updated as those signees continue to roll in for Texas Tech. This from the chat line: want a home and home with my Miami Hurricanes. That's from Bobby.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Aggies should have been uninvited to that event.
It's just dumb.
Choice, y'all do your top 5 Christmas Christmas what? Just Christmas? I don't know. Baseball, Florida State. Basketball, Indiana. Football, Penn State. That's from Tyler. All those would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to see our basketball team in Indiana.
Baseball, Florida State.
I've been there a couple different times.
Yeah,
in the
but
Tadlock era.
I think I'd like to see them come here.
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
think it'd be a good one.
Yep.
Arizona, don't think we played them.
Yeah, they haven't returned the favor of Florida State in baseball, even though we've been there twice.
Seminoles, get it together, man, before you come to the Big 12 when the ACC dissolves. All right, a few more from the chat line. We'll get to some more of your thoughts there. Jamie has his question of the day next on Double T 97.3.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Time now for Jamie's question of the day on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Okay, so this is a 2-parter, and it's kind of building off of your dream matchups, home and road. Okay? But this is, you got to listen carefully here.
Darn it.
Okay? And it can be a team that you play currently, or it can be a team that you would just like to play in the future. Okay? What team, and I'm not just saying full school, so you got to give me the sport and the team.
Okay.
Okay? What team would you like to beat the most
Ooh.
for the Red Raiders? Which one would you like them to beat the most? Would you take that much enjoyment in?
This is outside the conference, obviously.
It can be any.
Oh.
Yeah. And what team do you hate losing to the most?
Oh, man.
Might be the same answer. Might not be. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good question. Because I really enjoy beating the Longhorns. I do. But it doesn't bother me as much to lose to them, if that makes sense. It just...
Because you're expected to.
Yeah, I mean, because I can admit, we're a little brother. I mean, they have...
Well,
Big
record
Brother
shows that
has
you are, so...
tons more money than you do. So, man, what school do I want to beat the most? Who do I hate losing to the most? Man, I can say this with full confidence right now that at this moment in time, I would hate losing to Colorado next year. Absolutely hate it. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll enjoy a win, but man, the thought of losing to Dion and the arrogance there will drive me up a wall. So that's my answer just in this moment. Losing to Colorado at home next year would probably be
the one you'd hate the most.
About as gut-wrenching as it comes. The team I would enjoy, get to just really revel in a victory, I think it's kind of a boring answer, but it's still always the Aggies. I mean, just the joy that came from that's one thing. We talk about the good old days of Mike Leach. That's why those days were so good. Almost all the time you beat the Aggies. Not always, but you look at that stretch from 2000 to 2009, you had a lot of wins over the boys from College Station. So
yeah,
I enjoyed that time a lot. So it'd be the Aggies for enjoy beating the most, and just for right now, losing to Dion in Colorado would be pretty rough. And that's both football.
So you're both football.
For now, yeah. Yeah, right now. I don't know. I hate losing to TCU baseball, too.
There's a lot of teams I hate losing to.
Me
but
too.
The number one on the board, the bold, extra-sized font that is driving me up the stinking wall that you lose the games to in football specifically is Kansas State. They're not that much better than you have been over the last decade. They've just been a little better every single stinking time. It's not like losing to Texas this past year, where they were better at pretty much every position. They're just enough better. And it's a team you should beat and haven't for the better part of 20 years. Driving me up the frickin' wall. And it's already a short trip for me to go crazy.
Oh, we're well aware.
Beating the Aggies, however, is fantastic in any sport. I don't care if it's tiddlywinks. Texas and A&M, any win is a good win. I enjoy those a lot.
All right, you?
I think I hate losing to TCU in football the most.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I hate losing them in baseball more than I do football.
I think the one that I enjoy winning the most is Oklahoma State in baseball, because I cannot stand that coaching staff.
Oh, I can't
so
stand them
much.
either. I can't either, but man, I guess it's almost become an expectation to win over Oklahoma State. And it shouldn't be, because they're a good program, but man, you've dominated them.
There's just nothing about that program that I like.
Holiday is as butt-headed-ish, that's a real word, as it gets. Oh,
I don't know. This is
cannot
hard.
Stand Holiday.
This is hard for me because you
gave the question.
You're so right. TCU and anything is
If it was a blanket
like
statement,
near the top for me.
if it was
right?
a blanket statement in sports, TCU would be it. I hate losing to the most. But
I think I switched like while you guys were answering like 3 or 4 different times as I'm thinking
over,
about my answer.
that one and
Yeah.
Hanks,
It's going to be squarely those two schools.
TCU and
Yes.
who was that?
Oklahoma State.
Oh, okay.
Those two schools are the schools that I dislike the most.
Hanks said he hates losing to TCU in any sport, but now want to beat Utah in football. That's a good one because I really
feel like that's coming for all of us.
I would enjoy that win.
The only beef I have with what you guys said is like, or I shouldn't say I have beef, but like the only feeling where I don't feel the same way is like Kansas State to me is not that hateable.
Yeah.
And so I don't end up being that frustrated about losing to them.
And I know Jeff has always been on that with.
Yeah.
I shouldn't just come to accept it.
Yeah.
I was thrilled when I saw that we don't have Kansas State.
Oh,
on the schedule
100%.
this year.
100%.
Yeah. And then
Wanted
part
to
of
have
the
a
other part
parade.
of it is, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I've become a
K-State.
really big Kansas State fan.
Because Kansas. I mean, you do hang out with Jayhawks a lot. I mean, you need.
Kills me.
How do you not go to counseling for several hours a day?
I actually do.
Okay.
Actually do.
That's what you do when
Yeah.
you close your office door for so
Yeah.
long.
I'm just on the phone with a counselor.
Okay. That makes sense.
Shrink.
Because you spend like 5 hours a day with Jayhawks, and that'll drive any man.
You wonder why I'm a
mad.
jerk.
So, lots of people reacting to that question. You can do so as well on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. A handful of comments otherwise on the chat line, and we'll get you some updates on the portal as well as signing day. Several new names have signed to come to Texas Tech.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy Wednesday, y'all. It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com, the Double T 97.3 mobile app, Fox 34 News Now, however and wherever you're joining us from. We're glad that you've chosen to make us part of your Wednesday. I'm Chois Woodman in for Chuck Heinz. He's supposed to be back. All you, what's Heinz's fan club? I forgot. What we call them?
Chuck Nation.
Chuck Nation. We'll go with that. Chuck Nation, all you Chuck Nation. He'll be back tomorrow, we believe.
Hindsighters.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The Hindsighters.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie to my right, Jeff McGuire across the way. Lots of reaction of all sorts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. It is, pardon me, signing day, so we'll keep you apprised of any updates there. Again, not expecting any surprises either direction, but you, as I pointed out, you don't expect surprises, so we'll see. No Micah Hudson signing yet. You have gotten Will Hammond to sign so far, so 14 out of the 20 have inked so far for the Red Raiders. Man, it's just so much different than it used to be, the signing day. I mean, it was, okay, we got this one. We got this. All right. And then a lot of times you get a lot of early ones like this, but then there'd be big old ceremonies on signing day. And now that seems to, like, you can do that early in the week and call that your signing day, and then you just send in the piece of paper. So it's a little different feel to signing day than it used to be, but I'm sure they're still celebrating in that.
I think
football
guys
office.
stopped doing like the surprises and all the hats and all that.
Oh, I saw an Aggie guy do it this week.
After the one guy from Kansas did it, and then Donovan Smith trucked him.
That's what caused the.
It's like my probably
was his
top 5
name?
highlights of the last 20 years for me.
What was his name? Because Tech was in his final group.
Yes,
And
I know.
my goodness, I'm glad he didn't end up here because he was one of the biggest tool bags there was.
I don't remember his name. I'm sure Clint or Chuck could tell you.
It was a linebacker. Man. But yeah, he
I didn't know
right
it
up.
was. I didn't know that that guy was. It was him that Donovan ran over until that next Monday after that game.
What?
Was his last name Porter or something? I don't know. I'm completely guessing.
Man, I don't know. Someone help us out if y'all can remember his name. But anyway, yeah, he's the one. The worst part of it all was he has these shirts on and he's taking them off. He didn't do the hat thing. He did the shirts, and one of them was Texas Tech. But then he ends up taking all his shirt off and he's painted chest KU.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he ended up not being much of a. He was okay. Bullfighter says his name was Jackwagon Scott. Okay. That seems legit. No, that guy actually comes on in the afternoon around here. So, Jackwagon Scott, I like that. Jamie, I have a new respect for you after thinking about your Jayhawk time spent daily. That's from Dan in Dallas.
Oh man.
Newfound respect for Jamie. Jamie, do you imagine you're hitting that stupid Jayhawk logo every time you hit a tennis ball? That's what I picture you doing.
Maybe I would hit harder if I did. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take it out on the tennis ball.
Yeah.
We're not looking for harder, Jamie. We're looking for smooth.
Smooth.
Turn it over.
Okay.
Okay.
I would
some spin on it.
describe my tennis game as harder or smooth.
What do you describe it as?
Cruddy.
Oh. I was going to say there. My tennis game, it's just there.
It's weak.
So you poke it with a stick. Do something.
Yeah.
See, what we need,
Consistently inconsistent.
what we need to do is have Jamie like play against me in tennis. Not because I think I could beat him. Let me make this very, very clear. But then he would have a new appreciation for what suck is.
Well, he just has that when he's played me. So you don't have to sacrifice yourself.
Usually when
I've
I'm
already done it.
struggling, I invite Choice to play. Just
He's like, hey, you want to
build
go?
up my confidence.
You want to go slap the fuzz with me? I would hate losing to the Horns in both softball and baseball. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Agree with Kansas State. Would love to beat them. Enjoy beating A&M. Hate
At this
losing to
point,
Baylor.
just once for Kansas State would be fun.
Yeah.
Who knows? If we try it, we may like it and do it again.
Cameron says losing to Iowa State in football seems to hurt more than Kansas for me. Well, we don't lose to Kansas in football. I mean, that's the thing. You've lost to them twice ever. It's the biggest win percentage of any Big 12 team against a Big 12 team when you played at least like 7 or 8 games. You just don't lose to Kansas. So, love to win against TCU. Hate to lose against Baylor. I always really enjoyed beating the Aggies in football. Basketball, this one's the home and homes. Basketball, UCLA. Football, NU, I guess Nebraska. Surely you're not saying Northwestern there. And then baseball, Mississippi State. Okay.
That'd be fun.
Be all right with that.
Mm-hmm.
How do y'all rank the quarterbacks in the college football playoff? I'm probably putting Penix at 1.
Yep.
From Washington. Man, everybody else has been pretty inconsistent. Penix is.
I'll take Ewers at 2.
I guess I'd go Ewers, but I might go
I would take the Michigan guy 3 and definitely the Alabama quarterback 4th.
Man, the highs have been really high for the Alabama quarterback. That's I can't even think of his name right now. Just blanking. Jalen Milroe. I would probably flip the last 2. Michigan has been. I mean, they had a game in Big Ten play where they didn't throw the ball at all in the second half. I mean,
because they didn't need to.
They didn't have to. I know,
Yeah.
but I'm going to pick Michigan to win the whole thing. I think their defense is just. Did you see how many points per game they give up this year?
Michigan?
I get they're playing in the Big Ten, but still the number is astounding. It's less than 10. It's like 9.8 points per game.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That is unbelievable that you can go through a season and give up less than 10 points per game. So, yeah, I think it's pretty clear that Penix is the best quarterback. And will that translate to a win? I hope so. I mean, Washington beats Texas, but we'll see. Gavin Potter, Class A feminine hygiene product. Leipold cut him.
I was close. I said Porter.
Yeah, you're on it. Gavin Potter. God, that guy. Thank goodness he didn't end up at Texas Tech. Chuck Nation is good, someone says.
Okay, good.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.